even though we might not think we do, but we all do. Like, even when we're little. When you're little, you tend to have like the most fears because you're very innocent and you haven't really explored what the world is really like. So you tend to have multiple fears. And according to kids' health, like, it's normal. And sometimes that they can get a little extreme. According to my audience analysis, 8 out of 19 people have a fear of death. And which was really interesting because the top 10 fears in the US was failure, and then rejection, and then death. So that was really interesting to see. Fear is a natural, or our main points for...
Do you want me to keep putting these up?
That's it.
Okay.
Main points that I want to go over today is what is fear, and what is a phobia, and how can we try to overcome them. According to my audience analysis, 6 out of 19 people said that fears and phobias were the same, and 13 out of 19 people said that they were not the same. And fears and phobias, they're very similar, but they're not exactly the same. Fear is a natural negative emotion triggered by a presence of a stimulus which has the potential to cause harm. For example, if you're like going through a wooded area and then you hear some crackling noises or like a slither of a snake or something, your heartbeat starts to race and you have this triggered emotion of fear. And fear is usually normal, so it's okay to have fears, but they're not a bad thing. And most people consider fears as like a weakness or some sort of bad kind of connotation. So fears are caused by a stimulus, which could be anything that would make your heartbeat raise or you just feel kind of frightened. And it's caused by millions of brain cells communicate together to decipher what you should do, which is why most of the time you have a flight or fight response, whether you either stay and fight whatever you're doing or you run away. And it happens in the amygdala, I can't really pronounce that, but it happens in the amygdala, which keeps tracks of our emotions and experiences and triggers other emotions. But it mainly triggers our fear response, and it's located right here in the center of our brain. Fear affects us by releasing hormones to slow down or shut down functions. And it tends to shut down functions that you aren't using, so like your immune system or your digestive system. Because when you have fear, your body realizes that it doesn't really need those things to fight whatever you're fighting. And your heart rate tends to increase, and you have rapid breathing, so you start breathing a lot faster and take a lot of deeper breaths. You start to perspire or sweat because your body's telling you that you're afraid, and you have a sense of feeling so much stronger or strong, so you feel like you could do anything, but you're scared at the same time. So phobias is an overwhelming and unreasonable fear of an object or situation that has little danger but provokes anxiety. And phobias are just like an extreme form of fear. So phobias tend to be like, people who have phobias tend to be like extremely fearful. So they usually tend to fear about things that haven't happened but could happen. So it's just like the body's way of warning people or warning them of other dangers. over 11% of the population, or people, according to WebMD, have had a phobia or have a phobia. And phobias are one of the most common anxiety disorders. And most people really would consider an anxiety disorder because they think that they're just fears, and that's not really anything. According to the Mayo Clinic, there's no known cause for phobias. Scientists haven't really figured out why we have this internal, extreme fear of things. And they usually can be inherited or learned behavior. So if your mom has some sort of fear and phobia, you will most likely have that same fear and phobia. And they mainly begin as a child. So when you're little and you're scared of the dark, and you don't go out of it, and you're extremely fearful of dark, and you have to have a light on, you tend to have it as well when you're older, but most of the time it goes away. And they usually can develop at any time, and sometimes they're just like random fears that people may have experienced or may not have experienced. Phobias affects you mentally. Your heart rate does speed up, and you have rapid breathing. They're very similar to fears, but they're a little bit more extreme. You start to have more stressful, so that could also lead to many other mental disorders. You start to have depression. You also go to substance abuse, so you start doing drugs and alcohol, and then there's a lot of suicide effects because of phobias, and it's very life-limiting. So if you have a phobia, you don't really get to experience what life is really like because you're afraid of things, and you can't really experience a lot of things because of that fear. It is possible to overcome a fear, even though it may not seem possible. And most of the time, your fears are just in your mind, and you haven't really gone through that phobia or fear. Treatments for fears are therapy, so you could go to a hospital or just talk to somebody about it. And therapy tends to work for fears because fears are not as extreme as phobias. And you can also do it by simply facing your fear and facing what you're actually scared of. And that tends to usually work if you don't want to go to therapy. And talking about it really helps you not be so afraid of things. So if you talk to somebody about it, they can help you explain why you're afraid of that certain thing, and they can help you overcome it. Treatments for phobias. There's a lot more treatments for phobias since it's considered an anxiety disorder. You can have self-help, which you face your own fears. You can have therapy, which somebody slowly and gradually faces your fear. And you can also gradually face your phobia, which is just, if you're afraid of heights, you start to climb up a certain number of stairs, or you start riding an elevator or get in the elevator if you're afraid of elevators. And relaxation, so just breathing in and out and just calming yourself and challenge the negative thoughts. So, for example, if you have a negative thought of riding an elevator and you have a fear of riding an elevator and you think that it'll fall down, you can think that in these past years the elevator hasn't fallen down. That could be challenging your negative thoughts. And my website. And today I hope you learned what a fear is, what a phobia are, what is a phobia, and how you can overcome them. And thank you.
Okay.